Hey, this is Jared Bonica. Look forward to our call. I'm going to briefly cover REAI, the complete intelligence system for real estate professionals that I personally built, coming from a over decade-long in hard money, private money lending. Been a realtor, have flipped houses before, so I have a good understanding of why deals get funded, why they don't, why they're successful on the lending side, but also on the acquisition side. I would ask you, as you're listening to this, what are the current limitations in your business? It's going to be the first thing I ask you when we get on the call. I would like to know specifically for whatever asset class you're in, what do you feel is the biggest limiting factors in possibly doing more deals or expanding to larger deals, or perhaps getting outside your comfort zone and tackling larger projects than you ever have before? Historically, the ability to expand is limited by your time because we're drowning in Excel, napkin math, fragmented research across multiple town and city websites. And I'm going to cover how this mind map of basically REAI, if implemented, could impact your business so we can find out if this is a good fit for you or not. First, let's lead with general AI, which you may have experienced does not work for real estate investors because it doesn't have the underlying elevated knowledge, which you're going to see here outlined. And it is also only as good as a crazy prompt, right, that you think you're giving it. With what I built, because I've elevated all this knowledge so extensively, which I'll break down in a few, I've also eliminated the need for you having to prompt an AI. That means you could just start off with, check out this APN I'm buying for $300,000, underwrite it, keep me safe. What's the highest and best use? It will know what to do for you. Versus when you go to general AI right now, you might have a 6-paragraph long prompt trying to explain all these different minds I built into it, how to even get a useful outcome for you. That is a massive fail. So at the core, when I deliver and you invest in this, you're getting this mind. No prompts needed, institutional grade underwriting. Also, it has a devil's advocate check built into itself. You just drop an address and done. It's going to know basically what to check for you, and a blind spot detection, negotiating leverage, all sorts of things. It's literally double checking its own work that it's delivering to you, including market and political scans. So that means zoning risk, variance opportunities, absorption rates, buyer demographics. Politically, is there anything going on in the area you should be aware of, and regulatory watches. So when you drop that address in or that APN, you could also upload any supporting docs you have, surveys, topos, architecturals, right? It's pulling from these minds: an underwriting mind, a construction mind, an interior design mind, a green technology mind, and a syndication mind to get you the outcome that you need. And that outcome ultimately leads to 70 to maybe 90% reduction in analysis time, smarter decision making. That means we're amplifying your knowledge. We're not removing you from the equation. We're simply allowing you to work smarter and faster. Institutional grade outputs. Again, no prompts, just answers. And that's across any asset, any market. So your personal time involved with those smarter answers, that's how we expand our, how many deals we do per year, and our knowledge base also. Now, briefly, let's cover each of these kind of minds it's pulling from. Underwriting. Any financial model, 3-scenario financial model you could ever imagine. So that means it's going to give you a sensitivity. Low, medium, and high. What should be going on your deal? Is it profitable? Live comp polls under a mile away, 6 months old. It can expand from there. Land acquisition pricing and feasibility studies. Go or no go in minutes. Topo zoning analysis. Briefly, the construction mind. Cost per square foot modeling, site work, infrastructure, scope gap detection. That means if you want to upload your subs or your GC scopes of work and audit it, make sure they're not leaving anything out or padding the budget. Modular versus stick built, phase planning, draw schedules, tap fees, utility cost stacks. Interior design. This is huge. Finished package ROI analysis. That means what is the area expectations? If I finish this better than my competitors, will it sell or rent more per door? Buyer demographic matching. What are the buyers in the area expecting and willing to pay more for? The premium versus the standard delta. How do I do what I just described right there, number 1 and 2, without over improving the property? And what is worth doing? The market specific spec guides, the upgrade value stacking, again, what's worth doing or not, and the buyer avatar and the absorption study. How long are things on the market and why? How can we speed that up? Here's another huge one, the green tech, solar battery ROI modeling. Lead, Energy Star scoring, federal and state tax credits, C-PACE financing options, net benefit per unit. So that means, what are we doing over here? Are we building to sell? Are we building to rent? If so, and we implement this, is it worth doing that? Because now I can, ask more for my property, or I can decrease my management overhead by maybe $10 per door and get these credits rolled in, rebates on my mortgage for implementing this, attracting better buyers. Then after the underwrite, of all this is happening, what's the next phase? Syndication. Whether that's debt or equity, LP, GP, equity structures, waterfall and promote modeling, investor return projections, equity raise sizing, offering memo ready. How do we de-risk and tell the story of the overall deal to our equity partners and our preferred return targets? And after it's pulling from those minds, it's ultimately going to deliver just off that address you originally dropped in, any context, your hopes, your wishes, your dreams, your concerns about that deal. It's going to double check itself, and Market and political scan. This is big, just maybe always double checking, especially for our land guys, right? Zoning risk, variance opportunities, absorption rates, the buyer demographics, politically, the regulatory watch. So all of that is happening when you drop in that address. It's going and it's double checking and pulling from all those different minds, depending upon your deal, right? To get you what? That outcome. Now, it doesn't always do the syndication right away. You could ask for it, but the way I like to do it, after you get the underwrite and you fine tune the numbers, then you go and do and ask it to prepare whether it's your debt or your equity. Because your debt or your equity, those are different set of eyes. How do we de-risk and tell that story? Help it then fine tune your ask for either the lender or the equity partner. So that would be after we underwrite it. You can just ask it to help you do this. And the reason a lot of my clients love this setup is because you're pulling from those different minds, which allows a massive reduction in time with institutional grade answers for whatever the asset class is. That is now irrelevant because we can reverse engineer and figure just about anything out. I also give you my personal lifetime support when you invest in the AI system here, which means because of my highly skilled background in lending, underwriting, figuring out these deals historically the old way in my technology background, I am now capable of underwriting almost any deal under 5 or 10 minutes. I've done everything up to a data center right now. And I have access to over 150 million property records. So my ability to reverse engineer and really fine tune an answer for you all is pretty much limitless at this point. So you could just jump on a screen share with me, say, Jared, I need a little extra help. And the investment into the AI also comes along with my lifetime support in helping you guys achieve whatever the next steps in your business is. And the big question is, how do I weaponize this specifically for my use cases? Well, that's a great question. The way you do this is if you're a builder, you upload your past wins, project you built successfully, you know your cost to do something, your past scopes of work, any historical project data, you can use that as a baseline to bid out the next project. So that means if you're buying a lot and you're building 5 homes on it and you successfully have built a couple homes before and you know your costs, you would literally just upload the architecturals, maybe the blueprints, your scopes of work that you had as the baseline and the foundation to build the next product. And it's more fine-tuned for what your cost might be, that plan, whatever you have going on. That's how you weaponize this on top of everything else that I bid. Now, the asset class or whatever you're doing is irrelevant. If you have that historical underlying success, that's huge. So hypothetically, you invest in this AI that I built. A year from now, we're talking. What does that conversation look like saying, I was able to do this, this, and this by using your system, Jared? It's been great. It's allowed me to do this. That's going to be one of the first things I ask you when we talk. What does that wish list look like? Knowing AI exists, how, in your mind, what would make the biggest impact if you actually came on and used this? What would allow you to do? That's what we're going to start the conversation with. So I look forward to doing so and talking to you real soon, guys. Be well.